Okay, it says we are live. All right, hello everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, so we're gonna do an Abbott's address, and Ryuka, Isabella is here, and Doan, of course, is here, and Tara is behind, and the Japanese lineage is over there, and lots of books. And we haven't done an Abbott address on YouTube for a while, and one of the things that's happening is the temple is getting a much upgraded AV system in all of this. And so we're going to be less dependent on Facebook and be streaming into multiple platforms. And so I thought, you know what, let's try and just do the New Year's Abbott's address here, and we'll see how it works. So anything you want to say?
No. Happy New Year, everyone.
A good Zen practitioner.
Yes,
Go on.
Yes. I too have few words. My words are Happy New Year to everybody. This has been an incredible year. Lots of tragedy, lots of really great things happening in the temple this year. Rinsen's leadership has just been incredible, really since the beginning of the pandemic. You just sort of kicked right into gear. We are now 300 strong. So 300 people are really on the planet are here together, practicing together.
A microdot of a percentage of an end.
But significant, right?
Yes.
When someone, a bat gets a weird virus in China, the whole world is changed. Likewise.
Good. And
likewise, when we get together, 300.
The world gets sick. Just like the bat.
No, the world gets healthy. Just like the Buddha.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to throw in some comments. In seriousness, Doan is right on the money with things. I mean, 2021 was a year of churn and slosh and not knowing. And in the midst of the churn and the slosh and the not knowing, we actually accomplished an amazing amount. We actually established and secured the new temple. And this is really, it's significant. I mean, there was a lot of adversity when we began with the project, and then clear to go ahead and do it. That seemed to be the year prior. And then as the doing was happening, it's in the midst of this intense pandemic. And so there's a kind of a quality there that we all have, that we all shared as a community. And I don't know the name of it offhand, but the new telescope we have going up. Mm-hmm. You know the name of that thing? It's the Hubble
JW
something.
Yeah.
Is it JW?
I think it is JW.
Interesting. That's interesting. Well, the mission is impossible, right? We want to map the entire universe, and we want to see all the things, and we'll never actually be able to see all the things. And nonetheless, we try. Nonetheless, we engage, and we keep making progress. And this kind of, in a way, fool's errand. You can never see the end of all things. And yet moving forward with it. So to me, that new telescope and all of that kind of thinking kind of expresses an element of the human spirit that we as a Sangha showed together during the pandemic, this impossible thing, and yet moving forward anyway in the midst of honestly not knowing. So not knowing and still functioning, right? Having this noble practice that we're moving towards that, can never be completely perfected. And yet there are markers, the satellite telescope actually does launch and we can see more. And in a way, against the great sadness and the many evils in the world at the time, we have our own satellite up here now. We've got our own telescope going and it's seeing good stuff. Mm-hmm. And we are all a part of that together. We've created that together. And so, it's not only the building, it's the mandala, it's the people that populate it. While the building was created, We had the largest Jikai class we've ever had. Some 25 initiates became Jikai members. That's fantastic. We had our first ever ordination with Shokai. What else? Gosh, we had the 7 Shoken students take the vows and become, members of the deep end of the pool, so to say, Sesshin practitioners. So all of this occurring during pandemic time. And by my best lights, I don't have a crystal clear or crystal ball, but it does seem to me that 2022, by all accounts, will probably be 2021 part 2. I wish I could say that I'm convinced we'll be at the other end of this pandemic and these adversities. I think not. I think it'll continue to churn and slosh, but we're getting better at dealing with it. We've got more experience at dealing with it, and we're definitely in a different place together as a community. So in this year, as opposed to last year where it's about securing the temple and kind of landing the plane in the space, and now we're in the space. And so there are 3 main guidances that I would like to hold up for our community as we go into this year, 2022. And the first one is that it's very important that we make a clear resolution and decision to really practice full out. I think it's very important for us individually to kind of not haggle with hesitation and to not kind of barter with half measures. For me, it seems correct to point out at this time that this is the time to really dive in. We are now in this space, and for it to become what it needs to become, we all have to engage it. Now, what that looks like will be different from practitioner to practitioner, but the mindset and the attitude of actually having a firm decision, not playing around with hesitation anymore, and just do the thing, whatever that is, however you understand that. Okay. So for someone who's completely new, that can be simply learn the practice of Zazen and get connected to the community. And that's a noble effort, For someone who's further along, it can look deeper than that. And I would encourage all of us to really look carefully, where do we hesitate? Where do we hold back? Where do we get practical? And in a way, let's stop being so practical and let's start being a little bit relentless. So this feeling about eliminating hesitation, making a firm decision to practice and realize awakening, like now. Now is the time. There's nothing guaranteed about this year or the year after. So let's do this now. This is one important point. And to facilitate that, I think it's very important that we reflect honestly on weaknesses, on places where we're not really stepping in the way we need to, when places in our lives where we're causing ourselves or others suffering, and just really don't put up with it anymore. Really decide that we're going to eliminate the hindrances to our vows. And I would ask you to really reflect seriously, where are you in relationship to your aspirations and vows for awakening and practice and community? And what's getting in the way? What are you doing? What attitudes do you have? What beliefs do you hold that are actually kind of eclipsing your ability to dive in? We talk a lot about removing obstructions. And, we do a lot of work for that. We do a lot of spiritual and religious mojo aimed at removing obstacles, but you have to do the lion's share of it. You have to see what they are for yourself in a way that we can't, identify them, and really kind of don't barter with them. It's kind of the same thing. Don't play with it. It's not okay to do half and half. Now is the time to say, I'm doing this. And whatever it is that's getting in your way, see it, acknowledge it, let it go, and let's dig in, shall we? Okay. And the reason for those 2 things is that this is the year really where we're about establishing the new calendar, which has the new weekly practice, which is completely new for our community, and also the old seasonal calendar, the seasonal shifts with Ango and Sesshin and all the different things that we do, and getting the new weekly schedule to be clearly planted in there as we go through these seasons together, and getting the schedule together and getting the mandala really solid. In the course of this year, there will be a Denbo transmission happening. There will be, I think, 4 other ordinations,
Mm-hmm.
right? There will be probably more folks receiving Jukai. There will probably be more folks becoming Shokan students. So all of these things are getting pressed in to the roots of this space. But it needs you, right? It needs all of us to look at this weekly schedule, see what you can do and do it. Look at the seasonal schedule, know that it's coming, plan in advance, and let's really plant the roots down and nurture them in this space. I'm very sure that unexpected and unwelcome events in the world will occur. Unexpected and unwelcome events will occur for each of us privately in our own lives. It's quite likely that unexpected and unwelcome events may occur to the Sangha. This is just being alive. The thing that's important is that we practice with those things, that we meet those things within the container of our vows, and that we really dig in, not just for ourselves, not just so that we have a more workable life, but rather so that we achieve awakening for the sake of all beings. So for the sake of those who this year will hear about the Buddhist Temple of Toledo, or for the first time listen to a podcast or walk through those doors that we now have together to open and close, for their sakes as well as our own, may we all practice strong. Okay, so that's my encouragements for the year. Usually what is usual anymore,
Exactly.
but what we've done in the past is we have all the different committee folks stand up and talk about the awesome that they've done. And obviously in the pandemic, this isn't a good move for us to do, but I've just got to say that there are so many people in the Sangha that are so deeply invested and deeply involved and really putting a lot of resources and time and heart into building this community together. And we just can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for your efforts for the Sangha.
Yes. Deep bows for that.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So as you were talking, I was thinking, gosh, we have a temple. We have like an actual temple, like the same temple that our ancestors had, right? In China and in Japan and in India, I mean, we're doing the practice as they did the practice. And how lucky we are, how fortunate we are to
Incredibly
have that
lucky,
now.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's something we all have together. So let's sink the roots in, let's grow it deep for ourselves and for the next generation. All right, any concluding thoughts?
Happy New Year.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll have our New Year's ceremony this Sunday at 11. It'll have an old year letting go and a new year welcoming. The temple is now open to friends of Sangha members and people who are visiting that are coming in with a current Sangha member. And in the fullness of time, open to the public again, hopefully sooner than later. But let's dig in. We'll see you Sunday. And the weekly schedule starts now. We're in it now. So that means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning at 7. And Tuesday and Thursday evening. Tuesday is establishing the Buddhist studies class, starts up this week. And Thursday will be Dharma practice, again, 7 to 9 p.m. So come on out, dig in, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.